So welcome Team Beesley. These guys are some of my favorite guys in the community. They're just so brilliant at what they do in real estate, and they're real connectors in the Carmel community. And it's just been an absolute delight working with you guys over the last year or 18 months or so and getting to know you. So you're pretty special people. And I thought it would be a good idea to just get to know you a little bit more by having this interview, finding out what's happening in the real estate market right now, because you are real authorities in this area, as well as being great, fun, wonderful people. You've got a high degree of knowledge there. So I thought it'd be fun to find out what's going on from your perspective, give some insight into that, maybe some insight into what you're doing differently right now and what your clients are asking for, perhaps more so than before, and really find out what you're doing from a marketing perspective. And so I'm just going to introduce, we've got Ben Beesley, first of all, from Team Beesley. We've got Shannon Verica, and Melissa Everett, who's my namesake, of course. And of course, I'm Lesley Everett. There's no relation that we know of, but there might be further back. We don't know. So, as I said, your brand statement that we all developed last year, and I think really does just exude what you do, is providing an enjoyable and exceptional real estate experience. And that really does so fit with what you guys do. But what I wanted to ask you first of all is, what are you finding that your buyers and sellers are most focused on right now, and how are you best serving them with this? Because these are unprecedented times, and we know that real estate has been hit, but in some ways it's been really positive. So what are you finding they're asking you for right now? And Ben, should we start with you?
Sure. Well, let's start with Lesley. You said providing an enjoyable experience. One of the reasons we wanted you here is you're enjoyable. We love having you in our world. So we're just selfish. You're in our world, we're happier. So let's start there. So what are buyers and sellers looking for? I think right now it's safety. And that comes in a lot of different hats. They want to be safe in the experience. And then we're also finding, and we were talking about this earlier, we're getting a lot of calls from people in the Bay Area that can now work from home that don't have to live in the Bay Area. They could live in Carmel Valley, Pebble Beach, Monterey, and do the exact same work that they were doing up there. So that's their version of safety. They can bring their families here and have a little bit more space and a little bit more ownership and kind of live in a community that they don't really experience back home. So I think that's the two things. It's safe in the experience of the showings, both from the seller and the buyer. And we can talk about specifically what we're doing with that. And maybe Shannon can talk about that. And then safe in what are they looking for? You know, whether it's a seller or a buyer, what's their next step? It's not just about jobs anymore. It's about, okay, what's right for me and my family, or in some cases now my extended family, or my kids that are back home.
Yeah.
I think safety is the key word right now.
Yeah, and I think that's
how would that experience look if we're showing a house? Or
yeah, and I think that's that's prevalent in a lot of industries right now, but particularly in real estate, I think, as well. And you know what's nice for me going around Carmel at the moment is seeing some of the houses that are normally shuttered up, and people are living in them, and there's a vibrancy coming back. And it's nice to hear that you're saying that people who maybe have a second home, they're in San Francisco, they want to come back down here, and the community is starting to lift again. What would you add to that, Shannon, and what in terms of what your buyers and sellers are looking for?
I would completely agree. I think safety is a big one, but I think they're also looking to us to help educate them on what's going on with the market. You know, it's always the question, is now a good time to sell? Is now a good time to buy? And so they're looking for us on what the real estate trends are, and is pricing coming down? Is inventory going up? Which neither of those are happening. Pricing is staying pretty stable throughout all of the markets that we're seeing. We're starting to actually see some markets that have multiple offers again on homes. And we just have such low inventory that there's not a lot to choose from out there, which is making it a competitive market. So I think they're just looking to us to help educate them and guide them in the right direction based on if they're buying or selling.
Sure, and you're finding that's more so than ever before, because there's this uncertainty, and am I doing the right thing? So they're looking for you to provide this expert insight into what's going on, so they can feel safer and more comfortable. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I see that. And so this must be something that you're finding that people are asking for more. Melissa, is it something that you're focusing on from a marketing perspective and giving them this information more so than ever before, or is it something that you typically always do?
I think we've always had a really good thumb on sending out good information. We have had systems in place for a long time of sending out newsletters and, you know, information on social media. So I feel like we've always kind of had a really good thought on that. I don't think that there's anything more that we're doing now. I just think more people might be looking at it since they're all home online looking at stuff like that. So
yeah, absolutely. So it's really all about making your buyers and sellers feel comfortable, confident, trust you. I would imagine trust is a key thing right now, which you guys are so brilliant at building.
Hey, Les, I want to just comment also on it's changed quite a bit over the last 2 months. I think, Melissa, what day are we on 69 of our shelter in place?
we are at number 70.
At number 70.
Really?
I know that
Are we?
we're doing a special song of the day, a very positive song every day. So we're at 70. But the experience that a seller has in showing a home or a buyer has in seeing and visiting a home it's a very, very different than what it used to be. We now have, everybody has masks. We actually have, we're required and we have extra masks if they don't show up without masks. We have gloves, we have hand sanitizers, and what we do to make sure that the seller feels better, nothing's being touched. Every door, every closet, every drawer that makes sense is open. So literally the buyer doesn't have to touch anything inside the house. And I think that makes everybody just feel a little bit better about having people coming in from out of the area looking at their homes. We can't make it 100%, but we do have or not just hand sanitizers, but disinfectant wipes following if they did open up a drawer, touch the banister, and then we do most of our discussions outside the home instead of lingering inside. And it's just, again, it's the world that we're in right now. And so I just want to make sure that people know that. And we do have booties on hand. We do have gloves on hand if needed. We do have extra masks on hand. And we are there with every showing. So it's just one extra step that, you know, it's nice to have a team. And so our sellers, we walk them through what we're going to be doing for them. And we do the buyers before they even walk in. This is what you're expected of.
Yeah, sure. And you know, it's a nice thing anyway to know that people are taking extra precautions. You know, I often feel like some of the stuff we're putting in place now during this time would actually be really nice to carry on with anyway. It's kind of nice that we're more aware of the cleanliness and sanitizing things as well. And you did a great
job. It's making us more personable. We're more involved in the entire process.
Yes, and that's the piece that you guys are so particularly good at, that connection with people. And I saw your virtual open house a few days ago, and that was great. And it was, you know, why not? You can get a real perspective of what's going on and the feel for it. It was great camera work as well.
That was our very first one. That was our very first virtual tour, virtual open house, and we've got one coming up this Saturday, our second one ever. Shannon will be the star.
Ben will be the cameraman. We're reversing roles.
Yeah, good. It'd be good to see more of you as well. Brilliant. So in terms of what trends are you seeing? I just want to go back to the trends. What trends are you seeing with buyers or sellers right now, whichever one you want to pick on first? Is there anything that you can see happening that you could see as carrying on through from where we are now, or what's different?
I can take this one to start. I think there's a couple things, like Ben mentioned, the buyers that are coming down from Silicon Valley that are able to work from home. And with that, I think we're seeing so many people locally as well that are now able to work from home, and kids that might continue with this homeschooling. So I believe we're going to start seeing a trend of bigger houses. I think over the last 10 years, we've really seen a lot of people wanting to downsize and get smaller. But now with so much activity happening inside the house, I really see a need that people are going to need home offices, husbands, wives, moms, dads, everyone's home working, and they need those separate spaces. So I do think we're going to see an uptick in some of the bigger homes. And with that, probably some remodel construction add-ons happening as well. I was just on the phone not too long ago with a buyer that's from the Bay Area coming down this weekend, and they're looking for a second house. And his words to me were, "We're just looking for somewhere to hunker down." And they feel like the Monterey Peninsula, because of the precautions, the measures we've taken, is a really safe and obviously beautiful place to get to be. So those are kind of two that I'm seeing.
Yeah, perfect, and that's good. So it's really zoning in on the features that people are wanting, listening to what they're wanting now in their lives generally in terms of living space, because we're not going to be coming out of this thing anytime soon in terms of people going back into offices and having face-to-face meetings and things. People are going to be working from home a lot more. So yeah, I hadn't thought about that connection in terms of and that impact on the housing market. Is there anything you want to add to that, Ben? Is there any other trends from your point of view?
As of right now, and Melissa would know this, there's a lot more homeschooling. There's all these new teachers in our world that are that are having to teach at home. So that some of that will probably have some carryover. And what I don't know, and I've had this conversation with somebody just a little while ago, is what's going to happen with in our county, it's 15 to 20% are unemployed. If they go to apply for a loan, are they going to be able to do so without history, even if they have a job? If there's going to be if they were forbeared on their mortgage, is that amount going to need to be paid in full? So what happens post or whenever in 2 or 3 months, that's going to be an interesting tale. And I don't think it will affect as much as Carmel as it does Salinas and Seaside, where some of those unemployment numbers are a little bit higher. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, and what do we have to do to make it easier for everybody. And I don't have those answers yet, but we're anticipating to figure out how do we be creative and make sure people stay in their homes, get in the homes that they want, those type of things.
Yeah, it's good to know you're planning for it. I mean, none of us can really know what's going to happen and how quickly things are going to start to move and have you. In terms of the messages that you're getting out to people right now from a marketing point of view, but obviously from a brand point of view and what you guys all stand for, what are the core messages, sort of summarizing what it is that you want to get out to your clients and prospective clients? Melissa, let's just hear what you're getting out. What's important right now to give people?
Well, I think that, the main thing is we always want to be a source of information and a source of happiness and light, something not dreading them down. They're hearing the news, they're hearing everything that's going on. We don't need to bog them down with that anymore than we need to. I think one of the great things that we do is our newsletter that we send out every month. We always have our new listings, our coming soons. We also have a ton of information as far as what Ben and Shannon are doing in the community, because they are great. They're faces in the community that they're a part of every activity, every fundraiser. So we're trying to put that into place. Another thing that we do that I think is great, that I don't think a lot of people know, is our Trivia Tuesday. And every month we have a trivia question and anybody can answer. And for every answer, we donate $1 to charity. And the winner gets to choose which charity they want their donation to go to. And so we've been able to donate to a lot of charities in the community. And it's been going on for about 1.5 years now. So an average of $25 a month is donated. And so we are just able to do that in the community. And I think just being a part of the community and sending out information of what's going on, where they can find, places to shop for the seniors and all that, COVID testing, all of that information has been going out on our newsletter lately. So I think it's just staying positive and getting information out there through either social media or email is really how it's going out.
And one of the things that you guys are so good at, particularly you, Ben and Shannon, when you're here on the ground and out there dealing with clients, it's the connecting and face-to-face communication. That's what you're so good at, and obviously you haven't been able to do that recently. So how are you coping with that? How are you getting through the working week without having all these social events that really get your personalities out there?
Well, the good news is we're still doing it. As you know a little bit, Lesley. So I was able to MC Chamber Mixer not too long ago, Zoom style. And then, there's once you get out in the community like Shannon and I, and we now are on everybody's short list. So I was one of the select few that got to be on the beach every single day to help people, remind them about social distancing. So every day for almost 2 months, I was there for 1.5 hours, walking up and down to the beach and reminding them, we want to keep our beaches open. Or there's the carmelneighbors.com, which, where we literally are looking out for those in our community, Carmel by the Sea specifically, that are at risk. And so we have a call every single week and try and identify how can we as a community help support them. And so these are calls that we get, and Shannon gets the same type of calls. Okay, so how, we need help. How can, so we're on that list. So we are still maybe not in the same format as we were before, but I still think we're in the public eye. I was on the Carmel Chamber's Business Roundtable this morning with mayor and the city manager and a couple hoteliers and retailers and restaurateurs, and just talking about, okay, so what's Carmel look like now, and how can we do this best for businesses as well as the residents and the external community. And it's a constant balancing act. So that's a call that we used to do we used to meet once a month physically. Now we're talking once a week, and it's ever changing. And so it's, we're very fortunate to be asked for our opinions and our voices, and in some cases our leadership. So we're a victim of our own success, I suppose, and it's
and popularity. Yeah.
I think too, we're so fortunate that we have the office that we have. We're downtown Carmel, and we've been able to come back into the office now. So we're on San Carlos and Ocean. We can have our Dutch door open. We've got masks, so we're being safe about everything we're doing, but we still get to kind of engage with our local community that way. They walk by, we see Chip Bragg, City Administrator, Chief Tomasi walk by, and our listings in the windows. So it's a way for us to kind of keep our face out there, but still in a very, very safe way. And it's just the two of us in the office. So yeah, we feel good about that.
Good. So you're still seeing people go by, which is great. And I know you need that, which is good. So just in terms of like summarizing with all of this, because you are very positive people, all three of you, and there are lots of positives that are coming out of this situation. What would you say in summary with other positives that have come out of this situation so far in terms of real estate and in terms of being able to get your personality across and be who you really are? What do you feel are the positives that we can all take away from this in the housing market as well in the situation we're in?
Sorry.
Go for it.
And the positives are just, we're so blessed to be in this community. I think we've always known that. And now that, you not that we look at the news, but we look at all the options of where we could be living. And Melissa lives in a great community too. It's not ours, but she's in Las Vegas. But we live in an amazing space, and what we've been able to do to protect our beach and, to promote our restaurants as much as we possibly can with what we've had and the community coming together and, supporting them as much as they have has been fantastic, and realizing that other people want to be here as well. And that's what, there's two sides of it, right? There's the lifestyle and what we live and what we work, and there's also our business. And, it looks like, at least for the time being, our business is in good shape because this is a very, very sought after place, even more so than it was before. And so those are some real key positives, and just real great appreciation for where we live, even more so than we have before.
Right, that's good to hear.
I think we've also been able to slow down a little, and we always connect with our clients and past clients, but I think we've been able to take even more time and reach out and make more phone calls, not anything to do with real estate, but just checking in with people and checking in with neighbors and people we haven't talked to in a while. So I think it's been so fun to talk to some people that I haven't talked to in, a couple of years, actually on the phone, and connect with them. And I think the other positive is, on that same note, people have had a little bit more time, and so they've been able to do things around the house, all those projects that they've kind of been putting off, organizing or painting or whatever it is. And those sellers that are getting ready to sell have been able to make all those improvements and do everything in their house to kind of make their house stand out, amongst the others that they might not have had time to do before. So I think we're seeing just people having more time and spending it really wisely with family and within their businesses and homes.
Yeah, and appreciating their homes more, maybe, because people, get up and leave at 6 a.m. They're out at work, get home at 7 p.m, and not appreciating the space that is so important to us. And so, yeah, that's a good point as well. What else do you have, Melissa?
Well, I'm always looking at it from a marketing standpoint, and I think I have always been begging Ben and Shannon to get their faces on video 1,000 times more than they already are. And one of the great things is Ben is finally doing some weekly Facebook Lives. It's awesome. I've been begging him for years. From a marketing standpoint, you want video and you want your face and your you speaking to your people. And so he's been doing that, and Shannon as well. And so I'm super grateful for that. But you know, the great thing is us as a team, we've worked together for years now, and we've had systems in place where we weren't scrambling when shelter in place happened. We had these systems in place for our listings and for people wanting to sell or buy. And so we didn't have to scramble. We kind of had to finagle a little bit or kind of switch gears a little bit, but we already had everything kind of in place and ready to go. And we were already, you know, I'm in Las Vegas. I'm unfortunately not in Monterey. I wish I was. That would be a great place to shelter in place. But having been in the community and having their face around, people know them, they were coming to them. And so it wasn't a huge change for us. You know, so super grateful for the systems in place that we had and that we were able just to keep moving forward. So
yeah, absolutely. So finally you got Ben doing more video, and I totally agree with you. You and I are on the same page with that, and the both of them are so good at it. So and I love the American Dream videos they did as well. And if anyone listening here hasn't seen them, you need to go to your YouTube channel, yes, Team Beesley YouTube channel, and see those American Dream videos, because those are really great, and they really bring through the personality. So really, just to wrap up, just in a few words, one or two words, what would you say to people right now, buyers or sellers, or pick one of them? What would you say is the most important thing for them to be thinking right now? What parting words to buyers or sellers right now as we start to emerge from all of this?
Mine would be that there's no good or bad time to sell based on what the market is doing. It's based on your family, and it's based on what's right for you at that given time. So if it makes sense now, then it makes sense now. If it's 6 months, if it's a year, it's based on everybody's individual needs, and it can't always be dictated on what the market is saying. I understand there's those investors out there that they do play the market, but if you're a family and it's where you're gonna live, do what makes sense for your family at that time.
Yeah, and I think that's what this situation's taught us all, isn't it? Just get on and do stuff. There's no right or wrongs anymore. What feels right, just do it. There's no point in hanging back. Just get on with it. So that's a really good point. What would you share, Melissa, right now as a thing to tell buyers or sellers to do? What would be the one thing you want to leave them with?
I would have to copy what Shannon says. Just do what you feel is right. I think that's a lot of what people are doing now, is just what feels right. No longer are they, I don't think everybody's planning for, you know, super far in the future. I think it's just right now, what feels good right now. What do we need to do right now? What do we need space for right now? With a lot of people staying home, and I became a teacher of 2 kids overnight, and I realized real quick that we needed space, and we were converting places in our home for those types of things. So I would say just what feels right, what's going to be right for you right now. Yeah,
right. And Ben, parting words for buyers or sellers right now?
It's going to sound very similar, only a slightly different take, is that just follow your heart. You know, just go where your heart is. I had a client this last weekend whose husband can now he works for Apple, and they looked at some amazing houses, and she didn't feel it. And I got up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I was going to write her offer. She says, okay, I'm ready. And she says, I don't feel it. I said, you don't do it. It's, you know, you need to feel good about it. And it's never about us. It's always about what's best for them. And I said, there's going to be opportunities. You're going to know when it's right. Or there's be enough right. And it's just, you know, so if you're going to sell, if you're thinking about selling, there's a reason for it. And just and stick to your reason and keep looking forward. It's, you know, one of my favorite things to say is, when you're driving, it's a really big windshield and a very small rearview mirror. And so keep looking forward. It's a bright future. And, you know, you get to glance back at your rearview mirror, but look straight forward and see where you ever want to go. We'll help you get there.
Great. And having your eyes open to the opportunities, I guess, as well. And I think more so than ever, we're just not dismissing things that we think we shouldn't be doing for whatever reason, because we get on that track. But right now our worlds are opening up, so perhaps it's spotting those opportunities and being very open-minded as well right now. You three are just such a pleasure to work with. The community's very lucky to have you. And how can people reach you if they want to look at how they might work with you, have a discussion with you, understand if you're right for them and they're right for you? And I mean, how do they get in contact with you? What's best?
Was the easiest one info@teambeesley.com? That would be,
Yep.
that would be an email address, info, I-N-F-O, in short for information, at Team Beesley, B-E-E-S-L-E-Y, it's right there on my screen, .com. And that will get to us, and then we will take care of you. One of the things I think we specialize in is client care. And in our mission statement, thanks to you, Lesley, we realize that enjoyment of the process is absolutely huge. And I think you will enjoy working with us.
Absolutely. And that comes into the fore more so than ever, is in enjoyment in everything we do. And you guys certainly bring that. So thanks, Ben. Thanks, Shannon. Thanks, Melissa. And bye from me, Lesley Everett. And take care, and give these guys a call if you're looking for property or wanting to sell in the area. They're the best. Take care.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Leslie.
much.
Bye.
Bye.